Hi everyone, today I'm here with my September book haul, which was my birthday month, so I do have quite a few books to show you. But first of all, two new things that you might see. These two shelves are now finally my shelves. They used to be my husband's books. On these two shelves it used to be like Java, computer books and other things like that. But now we've got a different bookcase that is now in a different room, so these two shelves are mine, and I've got an empty space here which I am going to fill up after I show you this book haul, because a lot of them are going to go on there. So, and also I got my hair in a different colour now. It was meant to be dark brown, but it turned out darker than I meant it to be. But I'm going to go with it. I actually quite like it. I think I'm going to keep it like that for a while and just see how things go. Spooky season and all that, right? Speaking of spooky season, I think I'm going to do the next video is going to be about my TBR books on like spooky themes and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to do that, like top 10 maybe, because I do have a few that could go into that category. But that's going to be in the next video. In this video I'm just going to be talking to you about the books that I've acquired. I didn't really technically pay for a lot of them, because you know how Waterstones have Plus card. So every time you spend £10, £1 goes on your card, and I normally tend to spend that amount on my birthday, which did happen on the 9th of September, and I somehow managed to have £33 on that card, so that was lovely. And then a couple of other things. I did have one voucher for other shop, and then just a couple I think were pre-orders, so I paid for them a while ago and then just got them now. So there's a good mixture in here, so let's get through them in no particular order. They're just stacked here as they are, so I'm just gonna go through all of them and talk to you through them. So the first book is Shadow Scent, The Darkest Bloom by P.M. Freestone. I like the cover of this one. I think the hardcover does have a prettier cover, but oh well. So this one is the first in the series. I do think it's a YA fantasy book. I don't know a lot about it. By the way, a lot of these are just from my wish list that I've had for a while and wanted to buy them but never quite bought them. So a lot of those I've been wanting to get them for a while. This one I guess is one of them. I haven't heard like amazing things about it, but for some reason it just really intrigues me. Like the description and everything intrigues me about it. Like where perfume is magic and secrets are deadly. It sounds really good to me. In this book, I think a prince gets poisoned, and we've got two different characters who go on almost like a quest or an adventure to find the antidote for that one, because our main character, a girl, she's got talent for fragrances, whatever that means, and they've got to go on this journey to discover different mysteries, uncover some hidden truths and things like that. So it does sound really good to me, and I'm really excited for this one. Like I said, I do really like the cover as well, and the spine is really like shiny and all that, so hopefully I'll enjoy this one. Next one, again, I've been wanting this book for such a long time, and it is The Bone Witch by Rin Chipeko. So again, it's a YA fantasy. It's got to do a lot of necromancy, I think. So in this one we follow our main character, who is a 16 or 17-year-old girl. Her brother died, but then she resurrects him, and he's back to life. But now because of that, she has to go somewhere to be trained to do it properly or something like that. And then I think there's again some kind of war happening around all of that. So it sounds really creepy and really good. I think that's the kind of thing I'd really enjoy reading about, and again I really like the cover of this one. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I do think I'm gonna really enjoy it, and again I think it's a trilogy, so in case I like it, there's going to be more to read. Next one is The Flames of Albion by Jean Menzies. She is a booktuber, Jean from Jean Bookish Thoughts. I've loved her channel for a very long time. I've been subscribed for a few years, since probably 2014. And this is her book. She self-published this book. This is a YA fantasy. I think she wrote essentially a book what she wanted to read in a fantasy book about dragons. I do think it takes place in a university as well, where they study magic. I'm gonna read you the blurb. A century since the monarchy was overthrown, the country of Albion has become a haven for its citizens, the young scholar Adaria included. Raised within the Albion University walls, she has dedicated her life to the pursuit of knowledge. Preferring to hole up in the library than seek adventure elsewhere, she has grown accustomed to her comfortable routine until the day everything changes. When she unwittingly awakens a sleeping dragon's egg, Adaria is thrust into unfamiliar territory. Never having dreamed of dragons, she is forced to seek out guidance from the exhilarating Ayla, last direct descendant of the royal family and companion to a century-old dragon. Together they must navigate the surprises to come, for beyond the prospect of a newborn dragon, Albion is about to face a dangerous conspiracy that threatens the peace of their realm. Flames of Albion is a story of friendship, love and acceptance that celebrates queer identity. It does sound really good to me. I'm really excited to get to this one. Hopefully I can squeeze it in, hopefully, in this magical readathon for the prompt to read a book with a school setting. That would be perfect because it's not really that big of a book. It's just over 300 pages. I really like Jean and I trust her, and hopefully I'm going to enjoy this book. So I do have really high hopes for this one, and hopefully I can read it in September, if not sooner rather than later. Next on we've got A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, which is again the first book in a series, I think. This is kind of like, you can call it dark academia, I guess, which is getting really popular lately. I don't think I've read any books in that kind of genre, but it does sound good to me. So in this one we follow a school. I think it's like a magic school. You go there to study magic, obviously, but the only thing that apparently the school kills the students. So essentially to graduate you have to survive, which sounds really creepy and really cool. I'm not the massive fan of the paperback cover, but oh well, and it's actually smaller than I thought. So hopefully I'll enjoy this one. Next one I've got is a rather popular book on BookTube. Is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Don't know a lot about this one, but I've heard so many great things about this book, and for some reason it has been calling to me, so I've now finally picked it up. Again, I'm gonna read you the blurb. I'm gonna try and not read too many blurbs because I can imagine that could be quite boring for a video, but this one I don't quite know how to describe it without reading it. So, in the markets of 18th century Cairo, thieves, tricksters, con artists and outcasts eke out a living swindling rich nobles and foreign invaders alike. But alongside this new world, the old stories linger, tales of jinn and spirits, of cities hidden among the swirling sands of the desert, full of enchantment, desire and riches, where magic pours down every street, hanging in the air like dust. Many wish their lives could be filled with wonder, but not Nari. She knows the trades she uses to get by are just tricks and sleights of hand. There's nothing magical about her. She only wishes to one day leave Cairo, but as the saying goes, be careful what you wish for. It does sound good, and from all the things that I've heard about this book, I do think I'm going to enjoy it, and if I do, there's obviously a whole lot to the series still left. So I'm looking forward to this one. Then we've got Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch, which is a sequel to The Lies of Locke Lamora, which I read probably about a year ago. I never really wanted to pick up the sequel. I did enjoy the first book, but I just felt like, well, I didn't want to continue with it. But for some reason lately, I kept thinking about the first book, and I felt like, oh, I could do with some like cozy fantasy for dark evenings, just, you know, sink my teeth into that kind of thing with a much longer book. So for some reason this one was calling to me, so now I bought the sequel to this one. This one is the second book in the, what's it called, Gentleman Bastards series. I don't quite know how to describe the plot, but basically it's a bit of a like historical fantasy almost. It is set in like fictional world set a bit in the past. We follow our main character Locke Lamora and his like band of thieves, and they essentially rob the rich people and give it to themselves instead of give it to the poor. So yeah, that's how I would describe it, and I would say it's kind of like a slower paced, more character driven story. There's not a lot happening, I think, but for some reason the atmosphere of that one, of the first book at least, I've really been wanting that lately, so that's why I got the sequel. And it's a massive book. It's like 630 pages. So I'm really hoping I'm going to enjoy it. Like I said, I was never planning to carry on with the series, but now I've got the second book and I'm actually genuinely looking forward to it, this one. Then I've got A Winter's Promise by Crystal Dabos. Sorry if I said that wrong. Again, this one is kind of like a popular YA fantasy series. I think it's called The Mirror. Yeah, the Mirror Visitor series. So this is book number 1. It's translated from French. We follow our main character who's got 2 different talents. So one of them, she can travel through mirrors, and second one, she can read the past of any object. And now she's promised to marry somebody who was a member of powerful clan from a cold and distant ark. So it sounds like a bit like parallel worlds almost kind of thing, which sounds really intriguing to me. I'm really hoping I'm going to enjoy it, because I've heard great things. I know that Jade from JD Ray Reads really enjoyed this one, and Jean from Jean Bookish Thoughts again really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it too. Then I also have Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I remember reading Twilight books when I was, I don't know, 18 or something, which now was a very long time ago. So I remember really liking it and really loving the films. I used to rewatch the films so many times. This one is essentially the same story, but from Edward's point of view. I never really wanted to read this one at all. But again, for some reason lately, I've been wanting to reread Twilight. For some reason, it's been on my mind for a long time now. And then one day I saw this in Sainsbury's for half price and thought, actually, I'm going to give it a go. It is another massive book. It's like 700 pages, over 700 pages. But I'm actually genuinely looking forward to this one because it's so nostalgic, and I am quite curious about like Edward's point of view on how things were going with Bella, how his vampire thing was going for him and stuff like that. I'm just genuinely curious, and I think it's gonna give me those nostalgic vibes that I was looking into like when I wanted to reread Twilight. And to be fair, if I enjoy this one, I wouldn't be surprised if I just buy the whole lot of Twilight, because also the series for me is associated with my best friend. She lent me all of the books. We even went to the cinema for the last 2. But then now she died, unfortunately, quite a few years ago. So it's quite nostalgic for me to even read that for that reason. So this means a lot to me. And I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm really looking forward to it. Then I've got 2 books by the same author, surprisingly. One of them was on my wish list for a while, and that is The Toymakers by Robert Dinsdale. I read one book by him in Russian quite a few years ago. I do not know what it's called in English. Something to do with a house in the forest, I think. I don't remember. I know I said I'm going to try not to read too many blurbs, but this one again I need to read you. The Emporium opens with the first frost of winter. While the Great War wages across Europe, there is a place of hope and enchantment in the heart of London. The Emporium sells toys that capture the imagination of children and adults alike. Patchwork dogs that seem alive, toy boxes that are bigger on the inside, soldiers that can fight battles on their own. Into this family business comes young Kathy Ray, running away from a shameful past. But Kathy is about to discover that the Emporium has secrets of its own. So it does sound really good, and I have heard great things about it. I know that Jess from Jess McGlynn's channel, she really enjoyed this one. And it does sound like something I would enjoy, hopefully for the atmosphere. So, and then like I said, I've got another book by this author, and Ice Paris by Starlight. This is, I think, was published just in July this year. I like the cover of this one. This seems a little bit different. I'll have to read you the blurb of this one again because it just sounds too magical, and if I try to explain it myself, it's just going to lose all of that. Settle down, pull your covers tight, look to the window and out into night. Every night on their long journey to Paris from their troubled homeland, Levin's grandmother has read to them from a very special book called The Nocturne, a book full of the stories of their people. A people who, generations before, chose to live by starlight. With every story that Levin's grandmother tells them in their new home, the desire to live as their ancestors did grows. And that is when the magic begins. But not everyone in Paris is won over by the spectacle of Paris by starlight. There are always those that fear the other, the unexplained, the strangers in the mist. How long can the magic of night rub up against the ordinaries of day? How long can two worlds occupy the same streets and squares before there is an outright war? This sounds amazing to me. I do think from the first book that I read by this author, the atmosphere, he can create an atmosphere. That's what I'm looking for in these two books, like especially this one. It sounds super mysterious and it sounds amazing, so I'm hoping I'm going to really enjoy this one, and the Toy Makers obviously. Then I also have The Hoarder by Jess Kidd, which was my Mist and Bees Emporium unboxing, which the link to it will be down below. In this one we follow our main character who hoards things, and apparently there are some secrets hidden in there as well, which sounds quite intriguing, and I have heard great things about this one. Also, I read Things in Jar by the same author and really enjoyed it, so hopefully I'm going to really enjoy this book as well. I do like the cover of this one as well. I think it's really pretty. So yeah, another book to add to my collection. I'm thinking it's going to be slightly like a creepy vibe. I could be wrong, but there we go. Then we've got two pre-orders. So the first one is The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. Look at the cover. Now look here, I think it's just beautiful. There's nothing special like inside or in the actual book, but the cover looks so pretty. I really like it. Welcome to the Winter Garden, open only at 13 o'clock. On the night her mother dies, 8-year-old Beatrice receives an invitation to the mysterious Winter Garden, a place of wonder and magic filled with all manner of strange and sublime flora and fauna. The garden is her solace every night for 7 days. But when the garden disappears and no one believes her story, Beatrice is left to wonder if it was truly real. 18 years later, on the eve of her wedding to a man her late father approved of but she does not love, Beatrice makes the decision to throw off the expectations of Victorian English society and search for the garden. But when both she and her closest friend Rosa receive invitations to compete to create spectacular pleasure gardens, with the prize being one life-changing wish, she realizes she may be closer to finding it than she ever imagined. Now all she has to do is win. It sounds really magical. I think it sounds like magical realism genre to me, but I could be wrong, but I'll find out when I eventually get to it. And now the very last book is a beast of a book, and that is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. I pre-ordered this a while ago. I love vampire stories. I don't even know anything about this one. This is way bigger than I thought. Look at this size. It's a brick of a book. I think it's over 700 pages. But I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it. I've not read many books by J. Kristoff. I only read Illuminae, which he co-wrote with Amy Kaufman. I did enjoy that one, but the second one, Gemina, was a big letdown. I didn't even finish it, but like I said, I do really enjoy vampire stories, so I'm having really high hopes for this one, and I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm going to read you the blurb again. It has been 27 long years since the last sunrise. For nearly 3 decades, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Now, only a few tiny sparks of light endure in a sea of darkness. Gabriel de Leon, half man, half monster, and last remaining Silver Saint, a sworn brother of the Holy Silver Order, dedicated to defending the realm from the creatures of the night, is all that stands between the world and its end. Now imprisoned by the very monsters he vowed to destroy, the last Silver Saint is forced to tell his story. A story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the wars of the blood and the forever king, and the quest for humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail. Like I said, so looking forward to this one. Also, if you have a look here, that's what we've got there. I know that some editions do have like black sprayed edges, but I just went with the standard edition. So now I've got it, and I'm really looking forward to this one. So yeah, these are all of the books that I acquired throughout the month of September. Please let me know if you've read any of those books and what you thought of them. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!